Hey, and welcome back to my Stardew Valley 1.4 min-max guide. Today we're going to do days 7 and 8, and we're getting there. This is kind of that stretch where we're doing a lot of fishing, right? So there's a lot of chores today, but more fishing as well. Right now we're going to run down to the wizard. We need to proc the community center so we can start doing the bundles. I ran through this day. Sometimes I like to do that when I know I want to get a lot of forageables. I'll run through and see where they spawn. So that's why you saw me walking into town first. And I'm thinking here, I'm only level 1 foraging. So if I'm passing out fishing tonight and I don't level up, I need to level up something else, right? Otherwise, I'm going to be at depleted energy for the next day. So with Sundays, on Sundays, the map resets overnight, so it's a new set of forageables. It's not always the best time to go get forageables. I usually like to do it on the Saturday. So basically they accumulate all week. But anyway, we cut down some trees because I'm finally not playing this game of chicken with the crows. And I'm getting a scarecrow down to protect everything else that I need. The potatoes are ready, so we can take those. We'll need to save one for the spring crops bundle, but the other 3 can be sold or used as energy. I didn't mention it earlier because I don't really use it very often, but Demetrius does swing by on this day and he asks you what you want to make the cave into on your farm. Right, you have 2 options. You have mushrooms and you have fruit bats. The fruit bats are good for completing the artisan bundle. They'll help you because the trees are generally hard to get, right? They're expensive and they take a lot of time and they only bloom in one season. I usually wait for the greenhouse to do that. But the mushrooms, they do give you some mushrooms that are used in community center bundles, and they're a more steady source of income. I believe it's like every other day or every 2 days they're ready to be harvested. So you just get 6 mushrooms. And fruit bats you're not guaranteed. So right now we've got things ready for smelting, and we're going to do some fishing before we run down to Clint's. So if you saw my screen when the day started, my copper pickaxe is ready. I do have my 5 iron bars ready, and I do have enough money to upgrade to the steel pickaxe. We have some artifacts that we're going to have to drop off to Gunther. We can use some of the rewards he gives, like the cauliflower seeds, to sell. We also need to plant cauliflower, right? Now here, what I'm doing is I'm trying to do a little bit of inventory juggling. The problem is I have these geodes that I brought with me. I want to try and get some coal or out of the frozen or magma geodes. If I get some gold ore, it'll make my cost a lot less. Just so I don't have to spend the 400 per gold ore. Unfortunately, I'm getting some artifacts. And now what I have to do is I have to get rid of the iridium band so I'm not magnetizing everything I'm dropping. And then I'm just dropping it by that fireplace. I guess that's what that is. And I'll pick those up as soon as I have space. So the iron ore is useful. Unfortunately, we need gold ore. So we'll buy We'll have 12 total here. We have 3 more left in that chest up at the mountain lake. And that means we have those last... we have enough for 3 gold bars. And I believe we've already smelted 2. So we'll go ahead to Gunther and drop off some of these artifacts. I think I debate briefly whether I want to drop off the fire quartz because I will need refined quartz, and you can smelt those for 3 refined quartz. Once you get down into the Skull Cavern, though, you're going to find a lot of fire quartz. So now the last purchase today is the backpack upgrade. I think it was annoying me that I was, having to shuffle everything around at the blacksmith. So just kind of selling some of the seeds to get enough. I believe it's 2,000 is what I need. And there we go. Honestly, that's like it's a great quality of life thing. Working with just kind of 1 bar of inventory can be very annoying. And honestly, going down into the mines with anything but the fully upgraded backpack is not very efficient. You're not going to be able to carry much at all. So this will be our fish until we pass out. And so I was hinting at it earlier, but we will have a day of fishing tomorrow. Between today and tomorrow, we want to get to fishing level 9. And I don't think it'll happen today, so we'll do it tomorrow. And then the 9th and 10th, we have to pick up the steel pickaxe and drop it off for the gold pickaxe. But those last 2 days are the last final full days of fishing, right? Because once we get level 10, my thought process is that we can come to the mountain lake when it's raining with level 10 fishing so that we can catch the legend. And the legend is that legendary fish that I was telling you about. It is the hardest to catch in the game. But getting, selling that for 10,000, 11,000, whatever it's worth, will really help the run out. It's definitely not necessary. And there's other options, right? You could just do another day of mountain fishing to get some money. It's not going to be as much. If it's raining, you can do catfishing down at the river. It's just that we have, more costs to cover with more crops to get to level 6 farming. We're going to upgrade some other tools that I haven't quite decided on yet. So we got Sebastian joining us as usual, and we'll just ignore each other. That's fine. There's some bubbles off over there, but they don't look like they're going to be worth it. They're a little too close to the land. So yeah, if all goes according to plan, we'll probably be mining as much as possible beginning the 11th or 12th. And it should just take a couple runs to get down to level 120. There's going to be a little bit of fishing before that, like I said, but that's mainly just to get the money for the upgrades and also the vault, right? We need 42,500, I think. And the vault's what unlocks the bus. Once we get the bus open and we start doing the Skull Cavern runs, that's when we can really have a steady source of income. We'll basically be using the iridium bars as our day-to-day money, and that'll help us prep for all of the star fruit that we're going to plant and buy. I mean, star fruit, they cost 400 a pop, plus the 80 gold for deluxe speed grow. And the deluxe speed grow also needs to be bought on Thursdays from the Oasis. That's the only time you can get it. You also can't get it on festival days. So, end of the day, level 2 foraging. Somewhat annoyed fortune. And we don't have any rain tomorrow. So make some decisions on what I want to sell. And then we'll probably head up to the mountain lake for fishing since it's not raining. If it was raining, I'd go to the river just because of the cash that you can get from catfish. And I'm at a good spot with my fishing level, right? Earlier on, it was a lot harder to catch the catfish. Sorry, Finley is... I think he's barking at somebody. Now that we have that larger fishing bar, it really does speed things up as far as getting the perfect catches. As I say that, I miss a largemouth bass. Something like trout soup could help with that, but I don't think it's worth it. Don't want to miss any of these treasure chests. There's a theory that in one of Red Touch's videos, that's the guy I mentioned who inspired my run. He was talking about treasure chests when you only get a single bait and why that happens, right? Because bait is always an option, but it seems like, especially early on when you don't have as much accomplished in the game, you'll get more treasure chests that just have a single bait. So he has an interesting theory, and I feel like I see the same thing when I'm doing this playthrough, and it's that there's some things that you can only get from treasure chests after completing certain things. I think there's some to do with fishing levels. Others just how far in the day you've progressed. Wondering if I could think of. I think an example is like iridium ore. Your first week, you can't fish out any iridium ore. I'll look into exactly what those items are, but my whole point here is the game will probably check. It will want to fill the chest with something, and it decides that before you open it. Then it'll check to see if you can obtain that item yet. And if you can't, then it just replaces it with bait. So there's no evidence for that. I don't know if anybody's looked through the code. I haven't seen anybody talking about it either. But it's interesting because I feel like early on in playthroughs, I get more just bait than actual items. Like I'm pretty sure I can hop on my. I have a few files on my Switch that have hundreds of hours in them, and I rarely get just a single piece of bait. Now these are some good bubbles, I think. So gold carp. Let's see what comes out next. Okay, so there you can see the quality of the fish is a little down. That's because it's close to that southern point of the island. I'm now trying to fish a little in front of it to try and get as far away from that as possible. But we need experience, and more fish means more experience, so... We must have gotten that diamond in my inventory in a treasure chest when I was rambling about the bait theory. Sorry, I didn't pick that up. Half hour before, we picked up the furnace just because we know we want to bring it with us. And there was nothing to smelt currently. And there we go, level 9 fishing. So yeah, like I said, we have a couple more days of fishing and finalize that gold pickaxe upgrade. Then we're going to be doing the hunt for the legend and finally getting into the mines. So thanks for watching.